Hi, everybody. So today is my final report on Salt Lake City Comic Con for this year. I found out that this is the fifth year of Salt Lake Comic Con, and they really have done a good job of improving every year. It's uh, it's it's something that is run. Here, let me turn that off. It's something that is run entirely by well, not entirely, but it's run by mostly volunteers, and every year they improve as far as uh, having enough staff and people knowing what they're doing. I think people have volunteered now multiple years in a row, so they kind of know what's going on, and they're definitely getting better. I still have complaints about the Disney panels that they had this year, which I thought were pretty negative, and could be I just felt like other fandoms were allowed to celebrate and have fun, whereas Disney, it was all about are princesses harmful or helpful, or the cultural appropriation of Disney, or they had one that was about whether Disney went from having a cult following to being how they are a human trap. That just really annoyed me. And so I hope that they fix that. But overall, it was really well run and it was really fun. And so I'm grateful. And so this day, I was debating yesterday about whether I should go or not go because I was feeling pretty tired. But I decided, I actually took an Uber into the city because I was just like, you know what? I just wanted to be dropped off right there. I don't have to park. I don't have to deal with it. And so I decided to treat myself today and did the Uber. And it was really fun. I'm glad that I did. And it was just a more relaxing day. And I decided to dress as Dipper from Gravity Falls, which is such a great show if you haven't seen it. And so it was a more relaxed. I was able to wear tennis shoes. And I'll still be able to wear my Snow White dress for Halloween, so it won't go to waste. And so anyway, so I got there and I was able to get in for the Elijah Wood panel. I kind of sneaked in because there was a group in the Zip Pass line. I just happened to pass them, and they were like, "Oh, we want to get in." And it was like, there was like a group, and I kind of sort of pretended like I was in their group, and they're like, "Okay, we'll let you in." And so I just kind of followed them. So that was nice. And I got in. And one of the nice things about Salt Lake Comic Con versus D23 is that you can just park yourself in the grand ballroom, and you don't even have to. You can just stay there for multiple guests, which is nice. But Elijah Wood came on, and the thing I thought was really cool about him is that he was just still like really respectful of Lord of the Rings and really proud of it. Whereas some people, I feel like when they're part of a big franchise like that, they sort of have a certain degree of disdain for it. Like I know Viggo Mortensen does, and he's a kind of a jerk about it. And so it was really cool. Like he still talked about how much fun he had going back for the Hobbit movies, and how he just loved being part of the whole experience. So that was really cool, and that he felt like he had an obligation, a burden, I guess, to bring such a beloved thing to everybody, and he really took it seriously. And so, yeah, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get any over the garden wall questions because I was hoping to get a little insight into that. But it was all pretty much Lord of the Rings. So, oh well, what are you going to do? But he was really charming. He was really nice. He seemed funny. He was very good. I enjoyed him. And then after that, we got Zachary Levi, who was great. He was so funny. And it was so weird because you saw Zachary, because some obviously, even like Jodie Benson yesterday, where she has a slightly different voice for Ariel, just slightly from her normal speaking voice. And excuse me, but Zachary Levi's Flynn Rider is exactly his voice. And so it was so weird to be like, that's Flynn Rider is on the stage. It was kind of funny. But what was cool about him was he was very funny. It was very engaging, good public speaker. But he kind of shared experiences about working on Broadway, working in voice acting, working live action, working on a Marvel movie. So he had like all of this variety of experiences, which made it really interesting to hear him share his different experiences. And he talked about the Psych movie that's coming up. He talked about his experiences with Tangled, and it was really funny because I guess he doesn't have a Funko Pop, and he's like, I don't know what I did to tick the Funko Pops up makers off because they have they have a he's like they have a Funko Pop for the horse, but they can't have one for Flynn. That was really funny. Like that's so weird that they don't have a Flynn Rider Pop. You think that they would, but hi, Cameron. Yeah, and it was fun. There were a lot of people who recognized my costume and were like, "Oh, Dipper!" And but yeah, he was great. Zachary Levi. He seemed really, and he's like a person of faith, which was cool, and it seemed like a really fun person. So that was great. And then after that, I did a little bit of shopping. I actually got two Funko Pops. I got a Darkwing Duck Funko Pop and a Aurora from Sleeping Beauty Funko Pop. So that was fun. And and I had lunch with my friend AJ. And then I went to a Wonder Woman panel, and it was so cool. They had like 6 or 7 different women from all different parts of life. They had one of the writers of the Wonder Woman and DC Superhero Girls books that was on the panel. There was like a professor. It was just a pretty good variety of women, and it was so cool because they all talked about how it was just this amazing emotional experience for them watching the movie, and how they just cried. And one of the ladies said that she told her husband, he said, "Is that what it's like being a man?" and just experiencing that kind of movie with a male character. And it was just really cool because that was totally the experience I had. So it was neat to see these other women and a whole room of women kind of share the same experience. And one of them actually was at the Draft House where it was all women when she first saw it. And one of them, the writer, actually got to go to the premiere. So there was a wide range of sort of experiences, but it was all very important and very emotional to them. And so that was very cool and very exciting. And then the next panel that I went to was Star Trek panel, where they had like this. They had a whole bunch of different guests, and they talked about pretty much all the movies of the original series. Went all the way from 1 all the way until 6. They had I think it was John Thatcher, I think is what it was. I can't remember. But anyway, who is a Muppets and special effects guy. He was really cool. He was very interesting. And I don't know, they just had like interesting insight, and they were talking about the movies, and particularly 2, 4, and 6, but really a lot of time spent on 2 and Wrath of Khan because that's most people's favorite. And so it was interesting to hear their insight into the movie and people that actually worked on the movie talking about it and what Nicholas Meyer kind of brought to the movie and how it all kind of that they said that that restrictions bring I forget what he said. Restrictions bring out artistry. I can't remember. He had a good quote, but the idea that like they had all these restrictions with budget and things, and that inspired them to like think outside the box for Wrath of Khan, which was really interesting to see. And yeah, so that's actually everything I did. I went to Elijah Wood that panel, and that was great. So it was Lord of the Rings, and then Zachary Levi was great, and then lunch with my friend, and then Wonder Woman and Star Trek. I mean, my only regret is I never did anything Star Wars the whole con, which I would have liked to have done something, but it just didn't work out. But I did get to see some all these different speakers and forums and everything. I wish I hadn't gone to the Disney cultural appropriations one because that just ticked me off and it was stupid. And I would rather have gone to a Star Wars thing than because it's not like it told me anything new. No kidding. And we all know that that happens, but I don't know. I just didn't really find it productive or helpful to focus on that. So it wasn't my kind of thing, I guess. And so, yeah, that'd be my only real feedback is that I guess the two feedback is I would wish that there was more signage and that it was better. And second of all, that they would have some positive Disney panels. Like, why not have a panel about the Disney revival, or have a panel about Disney music, or have a panel about the Renaissance films, or you could have a panel about Zootopia and Moana. You could have a panel about the upcoming films. What do we want from them? You could have a panel about Wreck-It Ralph 2. What do we want from it? And so you could have a panel about Frozen 2. What do we want for Frozen 2? There's just like a million ideas that you could do that would just be fun. And I don't mind the controversial panels, but I wish that they were balanced with some fun panels too for us Disney fans, because we get a lot of joy out of Disney. We know it's not perfect, and so we don't mind discussing these things, but we also want to have fun as well. So that's what I have to say about that. And let's see. Cameron says T. I don't know what TF means. But anyway, yeah. And so that was the only thing that was frustrating. But it was still really really fun. Fun con. You didn't have to wait in lines for very much. Everything was pretty easy. I could have stayed a little bit longer for the Twisted Tunes panel, which is a lot of fun, but the line was really long. And I was just getting tired by then, and so I decided to go. But that is a lot of fun to do the Twisted Tunes panel. I'm hoping somebody will post it. And I was bummed that I didn't get to see Dick Van Dyke. That was too bad, because of him changing his mind. But what are you going to do? But definitely the highlight of the con was getting to hear Jodie Benson sing. That was just so amazing. And so yeah, that's basically my report of Salt Lake City Comic Con. I definitely, if you have local cons that you can attend and support, I really encourage it. I think the cosplay is a lot of fun, and I think that's why this was part of the reason why this was more fun this year. This is the first year that I went to all 3 days, and I think that made it more fun. It was just more of an event, and also and just doing more, it feels more fun. And I didn't spend very much time on the vendor floor because my feet hurt so bad, from the things like that, and so that makes it less fun for me. I enjoy just being at the panels more. And it was fun hang out with my friend AJ and having a friend to experience it with, but also I think it made it more fun actually dressing up for cosplay. And so I was glad that I did that. And it just makes it more of a creative experience to try to do the cosplay. And so I did that all 3 days. I mean, this was definitely the easiest of the cosplay. The other two were the princess cosplay, but it just made it fun. So if you have a local con in your area, I really encourage you to go and support it. And because the Utah one is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They had 120,000 attendees this year, and but they do keep it commitment to it to be family friendly, which is one of the cool things about anything in Utah usually, is that they keep it very family friendly. And it's just, I don't know, it makes me glad that I live here, that they make that commitment. So anyway, that's kind of what I have to say about Salt Lake Comic Con Day 3, and we'll look forward to. They actually have what's called a Fan X event in January. We'll see if I end up going to that. It's right around when there's Sundance, which I'm planning on doing a lot more this year. So we'll see, but I definitely will go to Comic-Con next year. So, all right, that's all I have to say. And let me know what you think, and we will talk to you later. Bye.